Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, August 4th. A lot to talk about over the next several minutes. We'll have an update on the tropical situation. Climatologically speaking, we are now ramping up during the month of August, and indeed there are a couple, maybe three areas of interest right now that we'll focus in on over the next few minutes. Before we get to that, I want to take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Some very interesting things going on, not only now, but over the next 6 to 10 days across the U.S. in terms of temperature. It's been hot in the Pacific Northwest. Places like Seattle and Portland are experiencing some very hot weather, and that will continue into next week. What we're looking at here is the 6 to 10 day outlook, basically for temperatures during the second half of next week. And even more impressive than that heat out in the Pacific Northwest is this colder than normal period expected in the middle part of the country, and it really extends from the Rocky Mountains all the way to the East Coast. Here in the I-95 corridor region, a refreshing air mass for this time of the year will move into the area this weekend. By Sunday, we'll have high temperatures closer to 80 degrees compared to the more typical 90 degrees expected this time of the year, and near 80 degrees can be expected for highs in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Again, very impressive outbreak of cooler than normal air for this time of the year, especially concentrated in the middle of the country. Kansas City, for example, may have high temperatures in the 70s for many of the next several days, and this time of the year they could easily reach 100 degrees in that part of the nation. And again, this cooler than normal air will extend all the way to the northeast coastline during the next several days. Again, here in the MidAtlantic region, today will be quite warm and humid, but that next comfortable air mass moves in during the day tomorrow night, downright pleasant conditions in the big cities in the I-95 corridor, and again, a continuation of cooler than normal conditions well into next week. Well, here's a kind of a neat product from the University of Wisconsin, the CIMSS website that focuses on tropical information. This is kind of a global infrared mosaic, and there are three areas of interest right now in terms of the Atlantic Basin tropical season. First of all, in the Eastern Caribbean, there is a wave right now, a tropical wave right here in the Eastern Caribbean. This looks like it'll maintain its strength and perhaps even strengthen over the next several days, head right towards the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico, and ultimately may strike the northeastern part of Mexico, let's say just south of Brownsville, Texas, sometime next week as a tropical storm or perhaps even as a hurricane. So that's one system of interest we'll monitor over the next several days. Again, it looks like it may very well intensify, but it looks like it'll stay confined to the southwestern Gulf of Mexico and then head into the northeastern part of Mexico. Area number two, this is a pretty impressive wave right now that's already off of the African west coast. This is the African west coast right here. This will continue to move in this fashion over the next several days, and we'll of course monitor that here at VencoreWeather.com. Meanwhile, over the African continent itself, very impressive tropical wave already showing up quite well in satellite imagery. Again, this is an infrared global mosaic here put together at the University of Wisconsin website. This will be a wave of interest, probably not any impact here in the U.S. next week, but we're talking about the following week. And of course, it's too early to say if it'll make it all the way to the East Coast, but really three systems of interest. Again, this front runner heads towards northeastern Mexico most likely, maybe the extreme part of Texas. This one continues on a west-northwest track over the next several days, so we will monitor that. And then this is very long-term. Not next week, but perhaps the following week, the middle part of August, this may become of interest along the east coast of the United States. Certainly not saying it'll ever reach the East Coast, but it'll be something to monitor over the next week or so. Well, in terms of the immediate future, actually over the next 5 days, this is what the National Hurricane Center is thinking in terms of the storm track for these front two tropical waves. And again, climatologically speaking, this is the time of the year where activity should ramp up. We've shown in the past couple of videos sea surface temperatures over the Gulf of Mexico and much of the Caribbean are above normal. So all indications are the tropical activity will ramp up over the next couple of weeks and probably stay active for the next several weeks. This first wave looks like it may intensify slowly, head towards the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico right here, and then into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, and from that position probably continue on a westward track or west-northwest track into northeastern Mexico, perhaps impacting the southern part of Texas. Again, that's several days away. Meanwhile, wave number 2 over in the eastern Atlantic will continue on a west-northwest track over the next several days, and we will monitor that. After that, it's too far ahead to see if it'll actually just continue to curve out to sea before ever reaching the U.S. East Coast. We'll monitor that. And then finally, there's that third wave, still over the African continent, but it is very impressive indeed, and that may become a factor not next week, but the following week near the east coast of the U.S. Again, certainly no definitive idea of a storm hitting the U.S., but we'll monitor all of these systems over the next week to 10 days or so. I thought we'd take a look at the last night's 6Z GFS model run for the height anomalies, 500 millibar height anomalies, both in terms of the colder than normal air mass expected over the central U.S., spilling over into the eastern U.S., but also in terms of tropical possibilities over the next several days, maybe the next week or two. Let's just move ahead in 6-hour increments. Here we have a lot of below normal heights showing up right now this morning in the Great Lakes region across the northern plains, and again below normal temperatures right now, and that pattern will continue over the next several days. Let's move ahead in 6-hour increments, and we'll talk about the Mid-Atlantic region specifically over the next couple of minutes. But we have one frontal system making its way to the east coast late today and tonight, causing some it should cause some showers and thunderstorms both this afternoon and especially in the overnight hours. And then that ushers in a refreshingly cooler than normal air mass for this time of the year over the weekend. And then another frontal system heads towards the Mid-Atlantic region on Monday, bringing another round of showers and thunderstorms, and ushers in a reinforcing cooler than normal air mass for the middle part of next week. Let's keep pushing forward here. Large area of below normal heights here, and in most of this area, below normal temperatures for this time of the year. This is now Sunday morning, and here we are spilling over into next week now. Again, below normal heights in the Mid-Atlantic region and in the middle part of the country as well. Again, temperatures here may peak at around 80 degrees in the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, some 5 to 10 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Then as we get towards the end of next week, one thing I want to point out here, now this is Thursday of next week, not much in terms of abnormalities here in the Mid-Atlantic region by this time, but notice by next weekend, start to see some orange showing up in Canada. And ultimately, what I would like to watch for in terms of possibilities of tropical activity near the East Coast is high pressure ridging starting to set up in southeastern Canada. That's always a red flag this time of the year, because high pressure ridging in southeastern Canada tends to promote some westward movement of storms in the Bahamas region or the southwestern part of the Atlantic Ocean towards the U.S. East Coast. And it looks to me like the second half of August will have more of a possibility of that high pressure ridging in southeastern Canada. And again, that can ultimately lead to some tropical activity to be of concern along the U.S. again during the second half of the month of August. So we'll continue to monitor that over the next week to two. Well, finally, let's focus in on the near term in the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, we have a warm and humid day, a very warm and humid day to end the work week. There will be scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, and especially likely in the overnight hours as a frontal system works its way into the I-95 corridor. This is the forecast from the 6Z GFS for this morning, Friday morning. There are some showers and thunderstorms right now in and around the New York City metro region. Rain-free in Philadelphia and D.C. Again, by this afternoon, some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing, and then that frontal system works its way in. Could even be some downpours in the overnight hours, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line, as that frontal system works its way to the east from the Great Lakes region. Tomorrow morning, early morning, residual showers and thunderstorms possible, especially to the north and east, places like New York City. Some clouds certainly early in the morning. All that should give way to increasing amounts of sunshine during the midday and afternoon hours. It should become breezy, and the humidity level should drop during the afternoon. And here we are by tomorrow evening, a very nice weather pattern shaping up for the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City for Saturday night. A pleasantly cool night. Low temperatures by Sunday morning near the 60-degree mark in some of the suburbs of the big cities. Sunday itself looks like last Sunday, a spectacular day in the Mid-Atlantic region with plenty of sunshine, comfortable temperatures, and low humidity values. Then by Sunday night, late Sunday night, another round of showers and thunderstorms possible into the day on Monday as the next frontal system works its way in. This is the forecast map for Monday afternoon. Lots of showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region come a Monday. And again, that could begin in the late night hours on Sunday night, midnight, or in the wee hours of the morning, Sunday night, for example, the next round of showers and thunderstorms with the next cold frontal system. And that moves through by Tuesday, and then here we go. Cool high pressure over the Great Lakes pushes a reinforcing cooler than normal air mass into the Mid-Atlantic region for the later Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame of next week. So a lot going on, a lot of cool weather across the nation, some hot weather as well in the Pacific Northwest, and the tropical season is certainly ramping up in the Atlantic Basin, and we'll continue to monitor all of this over the next several days here at VencoreWeather.com. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.